What's up, everybody? I want to make a video just talking about this GameStop and this AMC after some crazy action out there today. And the point that I'm trying to make, or that I want to make, is that these types of moves are really not so crazy. And I know even though I catch myself saying that sometimes, I always approach the market with the mindset of anything can always happen. And when you approach trading in the markets with that type of mindset, it forces you to do certain things. And I'm going to use this GameStop as an example with Melvin Capital and Citron as well. And Citron is going to end up being a good example both ways, in the sense that Melvin Capital, as of, what was it, yesterday or the day before, they needed to get funding from Steve Cohn from Point72 Asset Management to be able to either hold their short or just to stay afloat and not go bankrupt in general. And they were shorting GameStop, and nothing has ever gone too high, and nothing has ever gone too low is really what it boils down to, and you need to trade with that in mind. When GameStop put in this candle here on the daily chart, it's not showing a great view. Ignore this green one on the right, but that's an inverted hammer on extremely high volume. Looks so much like a top. And if you're Melvin Capital, they're probably thinking, okay, we got squeezed a little bit, but we have some funding, and we're at least in a good position now where when this thing finally goes back down, we can afford to, hopefully just take a little bit of a loss, and not end up that bad. But then we get another big green day here, another monster gap up, and just overall insane action. But insane in the sense that these are huge moves, but not insane in the sense that these have happened in the past and will continue to happen. And this is why we need to trade with these small probability, big move potential plays in the back of our mind, and know that they're possible, to prevent us from being short and blowing up our account entirely. And the same goes on the downside, especially if you're using leverage. And this GameStop, I've heard others say it on Twitter, but Tilray from years ago, from I guess 2018, was a perfect example. And we had Citron on basically at the front of this move as well too. So that's why on Twitter I was talking to someone about Melvin Capital and Citron, and I was like, yeah, I think Citron is going to be fine in this, and Melvin Capital might not be, because Citron had lived through this massive short squeeze in Tilray, and I think they were shorting, I think they probably started shorting around 75 or 80, and then just when you think that a top finally has to be in, and like look how big this move looks on the daily chart, but then pulls back, just can't break down. And then, especially once with the advent of social media, Wall Street bets, you get all of these people starting to flood a ticker. You can always see more volume come in. You can always see a bigger move. Right here, you think, okay, look at this volume on the day. I mean, even though 20 million now, with how things trade, we wouldn't think that 20 million is a lot, but in relative, it still looks like a lot. But then, boom, it can always come in with more and more. And these things need to be taken into consideration when we think about risk management, holding shorts overnight. And I tried shorting a little bit of this GameStop today, but it never really broke down. So for me, I don't want to have this overnight gap exposure when things could move a lot in one way or the other. So just a couple quick thoughts on this GameStop, Tilray, some examples in the past, and Citron, and how I think Citron actually did a fantastic job trading this GameStop, honestly. I posted a video on my channel saying, and Citron's statement on this today, and they were talking about how they got out of most of their short around $90, and in my opinion, that's great. Sounded like great position sizing, great risk management from Andrew Left. And I'll bring up one other example of one of these crazy moves from back when I was working in New York City. AXQP, or honestly, this chart, maybe it's possible that this ticker got delisted. I thought that I saw it earlier this year when I just looked it up to see it, but I think it was AQXP. Yeah, I'm finding AQXP on my other platform, but for some reason it's not coming up in TC2000. But I mean, basically, it was this biocap stock that I think it was like $2.50 the day before or something. It opened up at $6 or $7 or $8, and I remember I bought a breakout on it from a pre-market consolidation, and one of my bosses, my boss and my first mentor would short these types of things, and it ended up going to like 55 on the day, and he took a $500,000 loss on the thing, which is a huge loss. I mean, he fortunately was able to take that on the chin, and has more money than that, as he's been trading for a career of over 20 years at that point. But lastly, I guess I'll pull up this AMC and just talk about short that I had in it today, tying it into that example. Okay, chart isn't showing up here for pre-market action, but basically I was shorting this AMC pre-market, and in the back of my mind I'm saying, okay, this thing was at $5 yesterday. It was at 25 and 24. Those were my entry prices on the shorts, and I said, even though it's up a lot, who knows? This could go to 50. This could go to $60. You have everybody and their mother looking at AMC and GameStop on the day, so you just need to know that those are the risks when you're taking them. So I shorted AMC at 25 and 24, and then did I short and say, okay, if it goes higher, I'm just going to add more, or if it goes higher, I'm just going to hold on to it and I'm going to hope that it turns around? No, I said I'm shorting at 25 and 24, 27, 27.50. If it goes there, I'm out. I get out. Maybe I reassess and look for another spot somewhere, but that means that I'm wrong here. And that, having a hard stop, not holding a shit ton of size overnight when something is in territory that we can see some of these really massive moves, are really critical to trading these types of in-play names and just managing that tail side risk of your overall portfolio on these types of black swan events. But all right, everybody, have a great day.